The foundations of diplomacy and persuasion. Is it possible to change the world with words alone? This question, my friends, lies at the heart of our exploration today. I am Benjamin Franklin, a humble servant of progress and a student of the human condition. My life has been a testament to the power of diplomacy and persuasion, and it is this wisdom I wish to impart upon you. The first lesson in diplomacy is understanding human nature. As I have often observed, there are three things extremely hard: steal, a diamond, and to know oneself. This insight is crucial in diplomacy. To influence others, you must first understand yourself, your biases, and your limitations. Remember, every individual you meet carries their own set of beliefs, biases, and experiences. Reflect on the time I persuaded the French to support our cause in the American Revolution. It wasn't just about presenting facts. It was about connecting with their values, their aspirations. Diplomacy is the art of finding common ground, often hidden beneath layers of disagreement. Consider the story of the chess game I once played. It wasn't about winning or losing. It was about understanding my opponent. Each move revealed something about their strategy, their thinking. In diplomacy, every conversation is a chess game. Listen more than you speak, observe more than you show. Now ask yourself, how well do you understand the people around you? How often do you listen to understand, not to reply? As I once said, he that is good for making excuses is seldom good for anything else. Don't make excuses for failing to understand others. Make efforts to see the world through their eyes. In conclusion, the foundation of diplomacy and persuasion is a deep understanding of human nature, both your own and that of others. It's about building bridges, not walls, in human relationships. As we move to the next part, keep in mind that diplomacy is not just about talking, it's about connecting, the art of communication in diplomacy. Can words be the bridge that connects divided minds? As we continue our journey, let us explore the art of communication, a cornerstone in the realm of diplomacy and persuasion. Remember, the way we express our thoughts can be as important as the thoughts themselves. True communication in diplomacy starts with listening. It's an art I've had to practice diligently. During the Constitutional Convention, listening was as crucial as speaking. To listen is to allow another's words to not just reach your ears, but your understanding. Recall the time I chose silence over argument in a heated debate. My silence was not passive. It was an active choice to understand the other side, to see the merit in their arguments. This approach often led my counterparts to reconsider their stance, finding a common ground with less resistance. Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound lessons from the legend. In the realm of diplomacy, listening serves two purposes. It gives you insight into the other person's perspective, and it shows respect, an essential element in building trust. When you listen, you open the door to a world outside your own. It's not just about hearing words, it's about deciphering the emotions, the unspoken truths. As I often mused, speak little, do much. Your actions, including your act of listening, speak volumes. In your silence, there is wisdom. You give yourself the opportunity to absorb, to process, and to understand. This is the foundation upon which the art of persuasion is built. Once you have listened, it is your turn to speak. But how? Diplomacy is not about grandiloquence or overwhelming others with eloquence. It's about clarity, simplicity, and resonance. When I addressed the French court seeking support, I didn't use complex rhetoric. I spoke plainly, clearly, and from the heart. It's the clarity of your message that resonates, not the complexity of your vocabulary. Consider the persuasive letters I wrote. They were not filled with verbose and intricate language. Instead, they were clear, concise, and to the point, often laced with a touch of humor. My letters were effective because they were relatable and understandable, not because they were complex. Think about this. When was the last time you were persuaded by someone? Was it their complexity or their clarity that convinced you? Remember my words, well done is better than well said. The eloquence of your speech is demonstrated not in fancy words, but in the effectiveness of your communication. Speak not to impress, but to convey, to connect. Strategic thinking and diplomacy. Is diplomacy merely the art of saying nice doggy until you can find a rock? This humorous quip I once made underscores a deeper truth. Diplomacy is as much about strategy as it is about communication. Let us explore the strategic dimensions of diplomacy and persuasion. In every diplomatic encounter, there is an underlying strategy. Whether it's negotiating treaties or forging alliances, the key is to have a clear goal and a flexible approach. Remember, strategy in diplomacy is not about deception. It's about foresight and planning. Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound lessons from the legend. Reflect on how I secured France's support during the American Revolution. It wasn't just about appealing to their sentiments. It was a strategic dance, aligning our revolutionary goals with France's geopolitical interests. Strategy is about seeing the larger picture and finding synergies. Strategic diplomacy requires understanding the dynamics at play, the power structures, the cultural nuances, and the historical context. It's about anticipating reactions and preparing for various outcomes. A good diplomat thinks 2 steps ahead, not just about the immediate conversation. As I aptly noted, by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Preparation is key in diplomacy. It involves researching, understanding the other party's perspective, and anticipating their needs and concerns. Empathy and tact are integral to strategic diplomacy. They allow you to navigate complex situations delicately and find mutually beneficial solutions. It's not about winning. It's about achieving a sustainable outcome. Consider this. In your own interactions, how often do you think ahead? Do you consider the long-term implications of your words and actions? Diplomacy in action, real-world application, extended analysis. In the world of diplomacy, each situation is as unique as the individuals involved. This belief underlines the need for a nuanced understanding when applying diplomatic principles in real life. Here, we'll dissect complex scenarios and extract deeper insights. Real-world diplomacy is rarely black and white. It's a spectrum of grays, where decisions have far-reaching consequences, and the best choice is often the least detrimental. Reflect deeply on the Constitutional Convention. It wasn't just a gathering of minds. It was a collision of different ideologies and interests. My role there wasn't just about advocating for my views. It was about facilitating dialogue, understanding each delegate's perspective, and guiding towards a collective consensus. This scenario exemplifies the essence of real-world diplomacy, the ability to forge unity from diversity. In practical diplomacy, it's crucial to analyze the nuances of each situation. This means understanding not just the overt intentions of parties involved, but also their hidden motivations, fears, and aspirations. A diplomat must be a keen observer, able to read between the lines and understand what is unspoken. My words, We must indeed all hang together, or most assuredly we shall all hang separately, resonate profoundly in contemporary diplomatic scenarios. This highlights the importance of collective action and mutual understanding in achieving common goals, especially in a world that's increasingly interconnected. Diplomacy in crisis situations requires a calm and composed approach. In times of conflict, a diplomat must remain level-headed, using their skills in persuasion and negotiation to de-escalate tensions and find a path to resolution. Now, consider a global crisis or conflict. How would you apply diplomatic principles to navigate such a situation? Think about the balance of power, cultural sensitivities, and the long-term implications of your diplomatic strategies. Incorporating my approach in modern diplomacy involves a blend of empathy, strategic communication, and a deep understanding of the human condition. It's about recognizing that behind every political decision, there is a human element. To conclude, remember that diplomacy in the real world is complex, challenging, and requires a multifaceted approach. It demands patience, empathy, strategic thinking, and, most importantly, an unwavering commitment to finding common ground. The principles of diplomacy and persuasion are timeless, and when applied judiciously, they can lead to transformative outcomes in personal, professional, and global arenas. Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound lessons from the legend.